dark and creepy blackwood forest, a place full of old legends and scary stories. The air always felt heavy. The ancient trees stood like quiet guards, hiding secrets that no one wanted to know. For years, people told stories about something strange in the forest, an evil presence that could copy voices to trick people into going deeper and getting lost forever. The stories about 5 friends: Elena, a smart journalist who loved uncovering hidden truths; Mark, a brave thrill seeker; Sarah, a quiet but creative artist; Liam, a tech-savvy skeptic; and Claire, a caring and kind friend. They decided to go on a weekend trip to escape their busy city lives. Blackwood Forest seemed like the perfect place, far away, beautiful, and full of mystery. Elena had heard stories about the Echo, a creepy force in the forest that could mimic voices of loved ones to lure people into danger. While her friends thought it was just a silly legend, Elena wanted to investigate and write about it. As night came, the group set up their camp near the edge of the forest. They sat around the fire, laughing and sharing stories. But outside their circle of light, the forest was strangely quiet, as if it was watching them. Around midnight, Sarah suddenly spoke up. "Did anyone hear that?" she asked nervously. Everyone stopped talking and listened. A faint whisper floated through the air, soft but clear. It seemed to come from deeper in the forest. "It's just the wind," Mark said, but his voice didn't sound confident. "It sounded like someone calling my name," Sarah said quietly. The friends looked at each other, unsure of what to think. Mark, always eager for adventure, grabbed a flashlight. "Let's check it out," he said, with a shaky smile. Even though they were scared, they followed him. The flashlight's beam lit up a narrow path that twisted in strange ways. The whispering grew louder, sounding more like real voices. Soon, each of them started hearing something personal. Sarah heard her mom, who had passed away, calling her name. Mark heard his younger brother, who had been missing for years. Elena froze when she heard the voice of her mentor, whose unsolved murder still haunted her. Liam, trying to stay logical, said, "It's probably some kind of trick, maybe the wind or an echo." But his hands were shaking. "This isn't just an echo," Claire whispered, her voice trembling. They kept walking, unable to stop themselves. The path led to a clearing with an old, broken-down cabin. The voices seemed to be coming from inside. The cabin looked abandoned, with rotting wood and strange symbols scratched into the walls. Against their better judgment, they stepped inside. The air inside the cabin was thick and smelled bad, like damp wood and rot. A cracked mirror hung on the wall and dust covered everything. As they explored, the whispers became screams, filling the cabin with terrifying sounds. Suddenly, the door slammed shut, and the cabin went completely dark. Panic set in as they tried to find a way out. But the cabin seemed alive, its walls shifting and changing. The friends were separated, each trapped in a personal nightmare. Elena found herself in a room covered with newspapers and photos about her mentor's murder. The pictures moved, showing scenes she had never seen. A shadowy figure appeared in every photo, getting closer and more threatening. Mark saw a vision of his younger brother, alive but scared. "Help me, Mark," the boy begged. But when Mark reached out, his brother turned into smoke and vanished, leaving only his cries behind. Sarah saw her mother standing in front of her. When Sarah tried to speak, her mom's face twisted into something horrifying, and she began to scream. Liam ended up in a high-tech room filled with screens. Each screen showed his worst fears, including terrible things happening to his friends. Claire found herself in a peaceful meadow, but it quickly changed into a graveyard. The names on the tombstones were those of her friends and herself. Somehow, the friends managed to escape their nightmares and regroup in the main room of the cabin. But their relief didn't last long. The mirror on the wall began to ripple like water. From it emerged a dark, human-shaped figure with no face. Its presence was terrifying. "You called us," the figure said, its voice a mix of all the voices they had heard. "You wanted the truth, and now you are part of it." Realizing they were in danger, the friends fought to escape. They smashed the mirror, causing the figure to scream. But breaking the mirror unleashed a powerful force that shook the cabin. The walls crumbled, revealing a black void outside. In a panic, they ran back through the forest. The trees seemed to move, trying to trap them. The voices followed, mocking and threatening. Just when they thought they couldn't go on, they burst out of the forest into the open. The whispers stopped, and the heavy feeling lifted. They were safe, but they knew they'd never be the same. Back in their normal lives, they started hearing whispers in the dark. Sometimes, in mirrors, they saw the faceless figure watching them. The echo had marked them, and they could never truly escape its grasp.